And welcome back, folks. This is U.S. Home Talk. We are live every Wednesday at noon on Facebook, YouTube, and then, of course, streaming to all the platforms afterwards. So we do appreciate however you tune in, whether it's live or later in the week. We got a big show planned this day. What is this day? This 4th day of June, 2025. Today we're going to be talking about eco-friendly upgrades that pay for themselves. I'm your host today, Jason Walgrave with Walgrave Real Estate Group and the Minnesota Real Estate Team at RE/MAX Advantage Plus. We've got the great mortgage Michael Overson from Luminate Bank. We have behind the curtain the master of all producing, Evan Little. He is also our insurance guru as well. We were informed last week that the real talent of U.S. Home Talk, and I don't think this is really, you can even argue it, but the real talent of U.S. Home Talk, Marcus Walgrave with Hague Realtors out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota, he's going to be off this entire month of June. He sent over the email. He's an important man. He's an important man. And so, we understand, Marcus. The show will not be as good without you, but we will do our best to.
I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand either.
I don't understand either. I could see a week. I could see 2 weeks. A month? Who gets a month off these days? I want that job.
He's figured it out. He has figured it out.
Apparently. He is smarter than I am. I want a month off.
I was talking to a client of mine today, and he's got a new job. I think he started it maybe a year ago. And they were recruiting him hard for 2 years. Excuse me. And so, they're like, we want you. And he's like, I don't think it, basically, I don't think you can afford me, or it would take a lot for me to move my job. And so they said, well, what do you get paid now? He gave him a number, and they said, we'll pay you 40 grand more. And they said, how many weeks of vacation you get? 2 weeks. We'll give you 6 weeks paid vacation. And so I was like, holy smokes. So, and then like 6% contribution to retirement. I mean, some really, really impressive incentives. So I was super happy for him, because that seems like I'd like to have 6 weeks off paid.
Yeah, please. I'd like to have to 6 weeks off, period.
I'd like to have 6 hours off sometimes. That's all I'm looking for. All right, today. So here's what we got. We got 2 things: eco-friendly upgrades that pay for themselves. We're going to go through that. When we're finished with that, we're going to do legal minute. And then after the legal minute, we are going to end the show with market updates in the Twin Cities. We haven't done those for a while. And they've definitely changed. So excited to do those at the end of the show. Market updates, the housing statistics for the Twin Cities Metro. But let's get started. Folks, best way to get hold of us anytime, of course, is our website, ushometalk.com. You can connect with myself, Mike, Marcus, Evan, all of our wonderful show partners. We have a real estate hotline number that you can text questions in during the show, which is 612-234-7585. That number is available 24/7. It is our real estate hotline number. So you can call, text, connect directly with us. We'll get you in front of all the partners, or whatever real estate service you need. We can align you with the right folks. So keep that number on hand. The real estate hotline number is 612-234-7585. On Facebook or YouTube, feel free to ask questions in the comment section during the show. We'll get those answered as well. And again, be sure to check out our website. Tons of reports on buying, selling, investing in real estate, financing. We've got, again, you can connect with all our great partners, but we have our past shows on there as well. So all things real estate, go to ushometalk.com. All right, eco-friendly upgrades.
I'm glad you brought up that all of our past shows are on there, because what's coming up, right? Summer road trip season, right? Putting the family in the RV, going across the country. What better time is there to sit there and listen to all of our past shows than when you're driving that RV down the road, right?
I mean, truly, what could the kids like more than listening to upgrades for your home or how to save on air conditioning. Oh man.
Right?
Hey, maybe parents want some nap time for the kids, okay? Maybe they need a break. They want the kids to take a nap.
Yep.
Pop in the old US Home Talk podcast. They'll be out in 3 minutes.
Little shot of brandy and some US Home Talk, baby. Knocks them out every time.
I don't know. I think that this might be
Bingo.
you guys just trying to bring back mutinies, where the children revolt and just take over the vehicle.
Right?
These conditions are unconscionable, Father.
That could happen.
That could.
Is this where we put in like a disclosure at the bottom or something?
Yeah.
Real small print.
Yep.
All right, eco-friendly upgrades that pay for themselves. Reducing your home's carbon footprint. Of course, has a host of benefits. Green homes, green building. All of these things have been talking points for a number of years now. Some of those are really expensive. The good news is there are upgrades that you can make that will over time pay for themselves. Smart home. I'm going to start with number one: smart home upgrades. There are a variety of smart home upgrades to consider that can more than pay for themselves over time. The first one they give on here is an example: a smart thermometer or thermostat. A smart thermostat. This is such a big deal, guys. We don't spend 24 hours a day in our house, right? We're out working or we're doing other things. You can set schedules. You can have it, different temperatures during the day, of course, than at night. You can have in the winter, the furnace go on, maybe right 30 minutes before you get home, or AC in the summer. These smart thermostats are fantastic. You can control them from your phone. And they will definitely save you money. They're going to pay for themselves actually pretty quickly.
You got smart thermostats at your house, Jason?
No,
I don't. I got programmable ones where you can put the time and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I can't run it from my phone or anything. I might have to look into that now.
Yeah, we've been meaning to get one for some time. I guess it's on the lower on the list, but they work great. And Nest is a big one. Nest, you can hook up everything to the cameras, to the front doorbell. There's some really cool technology out there, and controlling your temperature in your home in both the winter and the summer can save you a bunch of money.
So here's my question for you guys. How long do you think thermostats in general are supposed to last?
I think the older they are, the longer they're going to last. I've been in homes where it looks like the thermostat is 40, 50 years old. It looks really, really old.
I think that when I moved into my house, I replaced the original thermostat, and my house was built in like 1952, 54, something like that.
Yeah. So you're talking 50, 60 years old, on the old one. The new ones, I would guess 10 years.
Yeah.
Probably last 10
years. In
years.
that case, maybe there's an alignment on there. There was a news story a couple of weeks ago. This is why I bring it up, that the original generation Nests are hitting end of life, where even though they work fine, Google is shutting down the back end services for them. So you won't be able to use a bunch of their smart features. Not all of them. They'll still work as thermostats and still work as you'll be able to set schedules on them and stuff. But the cloud features and, being able to adjust your temperature away from home and the learning and stuff like that seems to not be on the table for that generation.
How interesting.
How convenient for Google.
Right. And those thermostats are like 11 years old, I think.
Yeah. So, 10. Yeah. There you go.
No possibility of your thermostat lasting longer anymore, I guess.
It's kind of like technology in general, right? I've got an iPad that's over 10 years old, and I might as well just throw it away. It won't update the software. It won't, nothing works. It won't connect to to Wi-Fi. I can play, solitaire on there. Basically, that's it.
Yeah. Yeah. The planned obsolescence thing is always something I'm cognizant of when I'm thinking about eco-friendly upgrades.
Yeah.
Because it stops being eco-friendly if you have to buy a new device, and it stops paying for itself when you have to buy a new device every 10 years.
True. That's a great point. Folks, talking about eco-friendly upgrades that pay for themselves. Number 2 on the list, on-demand hot water heater. One of the most expensive appliances to run in your home is a water heater, hot water heater. Because a traditional hot water heater keeps the tank with hot water all the time, and it's not available 24/7. So the tankless on-demand hot water systems work incredibly well. Now look, they do cost more. They're more expensive than a regular water heater, and that's why most folks don't do it. But we've seen more and more of those in the last 5-10 years, especially in new construction. There's an option that comes up. We've got a regular hot water heater. I think when it goes out, which is going to happen sometime in the relatively near future, we'll probably consider doing the tankless one, the on-demand hot water heater.
And
Mike, what do you have?
Well, how does that? We got our standard one too.
Yep.
And we just replaced that within the last 2 years. But I'm just trying to think, how do the tankless, how does that work? Like, I'm very curious.
Well, essentially, it does have a tank. It's just very, very small. And as the water moves through it, there's a lot of heat being pumped into that. So it's able to heat the water fully as it's going through it. Gotcha. The one thing that's worth pointing out on this one is the tankless water heaters are less efficient here than they are in warmer regions of the country.
Oh, sure.
Because the water coming into our houses in the winter is much colder than water going into a house in like Southern California by like 30 degrees. So you have to, essentially the upfront cost is higher here because we have to buy a bigger tankless water heater to have, like, I want a hot steamy shower than someone living in Florida or Texas or whatever. There they can get like the basic, the Menards up here or whatever, in store doesn't even carry the most basic tankless heaters. Really? They're not appropriate for Minnesota.
Like worthless for up here. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You have to get like the third tier up or whatever. Yeah. There's a temperature map that you can look at of North America that has like these bands of color that talk about like the minimum water temperature coming into your house. And so like up here in Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota, Wisconsin, we have cold winters, etc. That stretches all the way down into Utah and even the northern tip of Arizona because they have cold nights. So depending on where you're at, these water heaters cost less or more. And so that upfront upgrade cost can be pretty different.
I've had clients that have put in a couple different on-demand water heaters, one in the utility room for the majority of the house. And then these particular clients I'm thinking of, they put in an additional one in the master bathroom, right in there, so that it's literally instant hot water. So,
a thing that you don't see on homes anymore that did exist in luxury homes like 100 years ago was like a hot water loop, like they have in commercial buildings where there is actually hot water in the pipe ready to go because it continually feeds it around. Yeah. My grandpa's house had a setup like that. It was built in 1904 or something. And it's expensive, but it does mean that you turn on the tap and you have hot water within like 1 or 2 seconds. So
we do have that in one of our bedrooms because it's built over a 3-season porch. And if it gets really, really cold, 20 below zero, that pipe for that particular bathroom will freeze. And so then we had to put a recirculating loop in there, like you're talking about. And so it's the opposite. So in the wintertime, it's like, if you want cold water, you got to turn the cold on and let it run for a while because the hot water is there all the time. You turn the cold on, it's going to pump the hot water out first. It's recirculating by there. And then the cold water will come. So it's completely different. It's reversed, right? So it's like, you want to brush your teeth. You got to let it run for a while if you want cold water. Otherwise, you just brush your teeth with the hot water, right? So I only plug it in the wintertime when there's potential of freezing. In the summertime, it works normal. But I know what the loop system you're talking about because we actually have one. So
it's pretty wild. Folks, we're talking about eco-friendly upgrades that pay for themselves. Next on the list, mature landscaping. Among the biggest returns on investment when it comes to home improvement is mature landscaping, according to NAR. Exterior home improvements, including lawn care, flower, planting beds, and new trees, offer 100% return on investment. In addition, you can use environmentally friendly cultivation methods and choose plants that are native to your region. So I love seeing any type of improvements that have a high rate of return on the investment or the cost of them compared to what you're going to get back. Mature landscaping, 100% according to NAR. That's pretty cool.
Nice.
Next on our list, pest control planting. This one's pretty fascinating. And I think, man, I think I wish more people would know about this one because in Minnesota, we definitely have some pests outside, right? So pest control planting, if you're tired of paying for monthly or quarterly pest control, consider the power of natural solutions to curb your home's pest problem. It talks about different grasses and flowers that will repel bugs and rodents. In addition, basil, rosemary, lavender, other herbs provide 2 benefits for the price of one. Herb garden for tastier cooking and the benefits of natural pest control. I think that's something we should all do a little more research on, right? I mean, my wife really loves flowers and fresh flowers and landscaping flowers outside and her herb garden and things like that. But I think that we forget or we just don't know that a lot of these plants can provide some pest control, bugs and rodents. So I like that one.
Yeah. I was going to say my kids is somewhat pest control. You know what I mean? We live on a lake, right? So we get geese and we get ducks and stuff that come up and, they just landmine our yard down there by the water. So
That's right.
My pest control, that built-in pest control for those types of pests is my kids. Send them down there, chase them off the yard.
Chase them away.
Yep.
Chase them. Theodore was chasing some geese last week and he actually caught one.
He caught one?
He was chasing and he caught one. It was just a baby one or not quite a baby, but it wasn't full size. So he caught it and he picked it up and he was kind of just petting it a little bit. And the mom, of course, was super angry. So he put it down. It walked about 5 feet in the opposite direction and then turned around and came back to him. Oh. And so I was like, well, that's pretty cool, Theodore. Don't bring it home.
Yeah, leave it there.
All right, folks, we're talking about eco-friendly updates that can pay for themselves. Plumbing upgrades. A few simple plumbing upgrades can make a big difference in your water use and in your utility bills. I think, man, if you've got anything that's leaking, that's an issue. Even if it's a small leak, and we've talked about this before, but how much water waste comes from a slow drip. And then you take a look at it, if you have your lawn irrigation outside, I mean, you can, I think most of us overwater our lawns if we have lawn irrigation. Shower heads, different shower heads are more eco-friendly, use less water. And so plumbing upgrades can definitely help with saving on your utility costs and save with water. And folks, look, when you're brushing your teeth, turn off the water. Don't let the water run while you're brushing your teeth.
Who does that anymore these days?
Half of my children do that, and I have to remind them, turn the water off.
Yeah. I don't know if any of ours do. I think they all turn it off.
You've done well. You've done well teaching them, Mike.
Yeah. I mean, that's one victory, one small victory. Trust me, we bring up 10 other topics. We're insufficient those other ones. But with the one thing we do have down is you turn the water off when you're brushing teeth.
Do your kids put their shoes away when they come in the house, or they just throw them on the floor in the mudroom?
Well, this is what we had to do. It was, there was like an area in the mudroom where you would put your shoes, right? Yep. But then they never make it to that area. They always make it right in front of the door. So when someone is going to leave or come in, the shoes are getting pushed around. You got to step over the shoes and stuff like that. So Jen just built a shelf system that goes in the area. So now it's a shelf system that's in the area where your shoes need to go. And ever since we put the shelf in, like the shoes seem to make it over there a lot better, and they're up on the shelf.
Did she make it?
I think she made it, but it's just this, it's just like a 3-4 tier shelf, just pushes up against the wall and just put your shoes up there, right? So that's my tip: get a little shelf system, put them where you want their shoes to go. Yep.
All right, back to what we're talking about. Eco-friendly upgrades that pay for themselves. Eco-friendly insulation. Traditional fiberglass insulation can save you energy and money, but its manufacturing air quality impacts can be detrimental to your eco-friendly efforts. And it just talks about some different insulation options out there. And so I think that, certainly insulation has come a long way over the years. You've got Man, you've got your foam insulation that I think works incredibly well. That can also help with some of your pest control needs. But look into insulation, eco-friendly insulation. Next one on the list, not a surprise, seal, window, and door trim. I mean, this one, you cannot believe how much energy is wasted if you've got a leaky window or you got a leaky door. They're talking about a good way to test this is you just use a feather, in an area that you think it might be leaking. And seals are, this can, even on your garage door, you got your garage door seals, you got your door seals, window seals, check and make sure that those window and door seals are working properly, because it will save you money.
Yeah, and you can just tell just in the windows themselves, double pane, triple pane, like the window technology lately. I bring up the example, like our old house was built in 1986. It was about 1,000 square feet smaller than our current house. Our current house is 30% less to heat and cool, but it's 1,000 square feet bigger. Yeah. And that's just because the new house is newer, the windows are newer, insulation is better, all that stuff. I mean, it makes a huge difference in our heating and cooling bills.
It does. It does. Last on our list, folks, and again, we're talking about eco-friendly upgrades that can pay for themselves. Last on our list is radiant floor heating. Radiant floor heating offers a host of benefits over traditional heating methods, from lower cost to operate, not to install, but to operate, to safer heating and more long-term reliability. I think radiant heat, in-floor heat, I think it's fantastic. I think that it's a more constant heating. So think about your basement, for example. So basements, especially in Minnesota, are typically chillier, right? Clients that have put in-floor heat in their basements are comfortable and they're warm and it's a constant heat. This is something that I think over time can pay for itself. In the beginning or the initial, installation, it's going to cost you quite a bit more than just your, traditional HVAC and furnace. So, one of the questions you want to ask is, how long do we plan on being in this house? Does it make sense to do it? A lot of folks, they'll have in-floor heat in their bathroom, like their master bathroom, or maybe an area. A lot of times you see the whole basement. I have been to homes where the whole garage, the entire garage floor was radiant heat, and that was their heating system. Actually, I think Perkle has that, doesn't he? Isn't his pole barn?
Yep.
His
whole
pole
thing
barn
is radiant heat.
Yeah. Oh, it's so comfortable. So comfortable. It's more of a constant, even temperature and heat in there, so it can work really good.
Yep, I love it. Our shed that we built, that's got the in-floor heat down there.
Oh, you guys did that too? Okay.
Yeah. I mean, we don't even really need to, we got mini splits in there too. We really don't even need to run the mini split heat at all, because it's just, the heat radiates from the ground up, and obviously the ground, especially in the winter in Minnesota, that's the coldest spot because it freezes and all that fun stuff there. So if you can knock that piece of it out, like the heat from there is just going to, rise and heat the rest of the building there. So we rarely use the mini split heat. The floor heat is awesome. And to be honest with you, I wish we would have did it in our basement when we built our house.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, I do too. Our basement definitely, it feels a bit chilly, especially in the winter. Summer's great, but winter it feels a bit chilly. We're going to jump into legal minute here in just a second, but folks, be sure to check out our website, ushometalk.com. Best way to get hold of Mike, myself, Evan, Marcus, all of our fantastic show partners, and dozens of reports and information about buying, selling, all things real estate. After the legal minute, we're going to do some market updates, which I'm pretty excited to do because we haven't done them for a while, and it'll be good to see what the market real estate statistics in the Twin Cities are looking like.
This is Jeff O'Brien, attorney with Hush Blackwell with the U.S. Home Talk Legal Minute. If you own real estate in which you'd like to pass down to your children, you may want to consider a qualified personal residence trust referred to as a QPERT. A QPERT is an irrevocable trust that can only hold one personal residence and other related assets such as cash to pay for specific expenditures and insurance on the residence. When you transfer your personal residence to the QPERT, you are making a gift to your children while retaining the right to occupy the residence for a certain period of time. At the end of the time period, the residence will pass to your children. The benefit of making this gift to the QPERT is that you receive a discount in the value of the gift, meaning you pay gift tax on only a portion of the value of the residence. At the end of the term, the entire value of the residence will be out of your gross estate. As with any irrevocable trust option, a CUPERT isn't for everyone. A general rule of thumb is that you should be older, healthy, have significant wealth, own a personal residence of value, and have children. As with any planning opportunity, you need to be aware of its drawbacks. With a CUPERT, you must survive the trust term in order to save any taxes, and if you want to continue to occupy the residence after the term, you must pay rent at the fair market rate. If you are married, one way around this is to give your spouse a life interest in the trust. This is Jeff O'Brien, attorney with Hush Blackwell with the U.S. Home Talk Legal Minute.
All right, folks, we are back. We are going to finish out the show today with market statistics for the Twin Cities metro area. So this is a 13-county metro in Twin Cities, Minnesota, the market that Mike and myself and Evan work in. Inventory of homes for sale currently. Mike, what do you think? Have you looked at these lately?
I think I looked at it 2 Saturdays ago. I'm going to take a guess of about I'm going to say 8,500.
9,442.
Oh, okay. A little bit more.
Inventory of homes for sale, 9,442 a year ago. We were at 8,859. So inventory is up about 6.6%. Pending home sales in the last 3 months, 13,320. A year ago, pending home sales in the last 3 months, 12,819. So that's up nearly 4%. So we got inventory up almost 7%. Pending home sales in the last 3 months up almost 4%. Median sale price currently is just under $400,000, $399,900. A year ago, we were at $385,500. So that is up almost 4% as well, the median sale price. Affordability index is currently at 111. A year ago, we were at 112. So that's basically the same. Mike, what is the affordability index?
So the affordability index is a measure of the average cost in a market versus the average income that is needed to be made for that particular market. So, for example, if the affordability index is at 100, that means the average income made for that particular market is exactly what is needed to be made to afford the average house. Mm-hmm. So the higher the number, the better. So the higher number, that means that to afford the average house, the income level can be less. Right. So the average, let's say it's 150, right? If the affordability index is at 150, that means the average income for a particular market is 150% of what it actually needs to be to afford the average house.
Yeah. So I'm thinking back to like 2020, 21, 22. The affordability index, I mean, if I remember correctly, wasn't it like 180, 190? Did we ever get to 200?
I think we got to 220. 220,
and like so that's when the crazy low interest rate. So that's how they calculate that based on your payment. So as the interest rates go up, the affordability index will go down. But yeah, man, that was almost double what it currently is, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Which is crazy, but we all knew that wasn't sustainable. It was one of those things. Right. It's like, how long is this going to last? I don't know. I guess we'll see, type of deal. But obviously that wasn't going to last forever. So
homes per buyer right now, 2.3. Homes per buyer, 2.3. A year ago, we were at 2.2. That's up about 4.5%. So this is a local stat, folks. I always want to caution people when you're reading national statistics. Be cautious. Be careful with that, right? I mean, it doesn't always apply to you. I read an article last week and said that, there was something like, I don't know, the number was just, wasn't even close to what our local numbers were. So these are local numbers. Homes per buyer currently is 2.3. Average days on market, 49. The average days on market currently is 49 days. A year ago, we were at 46. Go back 2 years ago, you're probably at 31, 32. So average days on market is up about 6.5%.
So let's talk about that just real quick. So the average days on market, so that's from when the house gets listed.
Yep. Until
the close date of the sale?
Nope.
It's from when the house gets listed until the house goes under contract.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's a good thing to point out. It is not from when it is signed to when it closes. It's from when you list it till it's under contract off the market. And so currently it's 2.5 months. right now. So keep that in mind when you're.
That also includes the new construction, though,
It does.
right?
It's everything. It includes everything. You're absolutely correct. So you'll see a spec home. It could be on the market for a year. I mean, I think, if a home is if the home is in a good neighborhood and it's priced correctly, that home should be sold in 2 weeks or less, with the right marketing plan and the right advertising campaign. If it hasn't sold in 30 days, we got to take a close look at why, and it's probably price. We've got a listing in Lakeville, and it's a great home. It's priced right. It's got the square footage. It's a great neighborhood, the whole deal. But it backs up to a busy road. And that's nearly every showing. That's the objection. Love the house. Can't live next to that busy road. And those are things you can't change. You can build a fence and plant evergreens and but that's about it. So, but currently 49 days in the market. Homes currently are selling for 99.7% of asking price. 99.7. A year ago, we were at 99.9. So a little bit less. This number surprised me. I didn't think it was currently that high, but it is 99.7%. This does not include whether or not closing costs were paid for or concessions were paid for by the seller. I would say if the home's been on the market 2 weeks or less, probably no seller concessions. Over 2 weeks, some. Definitely if it's 30 days or greater, most sellers are going to end up paying 3% from what we're seeing. So longer it's on the market, the less net is going to go to the seller. So folks, great show. We do appreciate you tuning in this morning. Again, Jason Walgrave here with Walgrave Real Estate Group and the Minnesota Real Estate Team at RE/MAX Mortgage. Michael Overson with Illuminate Bank. Evan Little, the great producer. Folks, we do thank you for tuning in. And we'll be back next week, same time, noon on Wednesday. Have a great week.